Thank you very much. All right, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the APRAS 2024. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to regulatory authorities from Asia Pacific region, as well as industry and academic experts. My name is Soyeon Lee, and I'm given the honor of being your MC for this very special occasion. We deeply appreciate all of you for being here with us despite your very busy schedules. APRAS was launched last year for international cooperation in the field of food safety within the Asia-Pacific region. And we truly hope that this occasion will serve as a meaningful time to strengthen the trust between nations regarding the food safety regulations. Now, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us now begin the opening ceremony of APRAS 2024.
아프라스의 역사적인 출범을 진심으로 축하합니다.
아프라스에 오신 것을 진심으로 환영합니다.
much. What a wonderful performance. Why don't you give them another round of big applause? Thank you. Thank you very much. That was opening performance to kickstart the APRAS 2024. Thank you very much once again. And first of all, we would like to introduce our distinguished guests who have graced us with their presence. And as I call their name, I would like to kindly ask the guests to stand and greet, and I would appreciate it if all attendees could welcome them with a warm round of applause. First of all, it is my true privilege to introduce him. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo has honored us with his presence at APRAS 2024. Please welcome him. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Oh Yu-kyung, the Minister of the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety and also the Chairman of the APRAS. And next, we are joined by Ms. Kim Yoo-mi, the Director of the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. Please welcome. And Ms. Park Yoon-ju, the Director of the National Institute of Food and Drug Safety Evaluation, joins us. And next, I'd like to introduce the regulatory authorities officials from member countries of APRAS who are with us this year again, following their participation last year. Mr. Jeff Robinson, the ambassador from the Australian Embassy in Korea. Thank you very much. And also we have Mr. Chief Wang Tae-han, the Chief Inspector of Food Safety of State Administration for Market Regulations. Mr. Vincent Arbuckle, the Director General for Food Safety from New Zealand's Ministry for Primary Industries, is present. Thank you for your participation. And next, we have Ms. Maria Teresa Dizon de Vega, the Ambassador of the Philippines to Korea, is here with us. Thank you. And Ms. Tan Ali Kim, the Director General of the Singapore Food Agency, is here with us. Thank you very much and welcome. Mr. Ng Yuan Tan Pong, the Director General of the Vietnam Food Administration, is participating. Please welcome. And next, I'd like to introduce a new regulatory authorities officials. We have Mr. Diego Varela, the Executive Secretary of the National Food Safety and Quality Agency. We also have Dr. Lucia Andalucia, the Chairperson of the Indonesian Food and Drug Authorities. Thank you. Ms. Norani Vinti Eksan, the Director of Food Safety Standards at the Ministry of Health Malaysia, is also in attendance. Thank you very much. Next, Mr. Lotjai Lovud, the Secretary General of the Thai Food and Drug Administration, is also in presence. And representatives from the international organization who are the APRAS observers are also in attendance. Ms. Karina Hoeks, the Director of Agriculture and Food Safety at the FAO and Codex, is here with us. We also have Mr. Moaz Sana, the Unit Head of the Food Standards at the World Health Organization, is joining us. Thank you. And also related organizations are in attendance. Mr. Han Sang-bae, the Director of Korea Agency of HACCP Accreditation and Services, is here with us. Mr. Lee Jae-yong, the President of National Food Safety Information Services, is participating. Thank you. Mr. Kim Myung-chul, Executive Vice Chairman of Korea Food Industry Association, is joining us. Thank you. And also we do have Mr. Chung Myung-soo, the Chairman of Korea Health Functional Food Association, graced with his presence. Thank you. Lastly, we do have Professor Ha Sang-do from Chungang University, and he'll be the moderator for the conference. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. Thank you everyone for attendance. Thank you very much. And to kickstart the APRAS 2024, we would like to have the opening remarks from Ms. Oh Yu-kyung, the Minister of the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, and also the Chairman of APRAS. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
안녕하십니까. 아프라스 초대 의장 오유경입니다. 아시아 태평양 식품규제기관장 협의체 아프라스 2024에 오신 것을 진심으로 환영합니다. 바쁘신 일정에도 아프라스에 함께 해주신 한덕수 국무총리님, 10개국 회원국 대표단, WHO, 코덱스, FAO 관계자 여러분께 감사드립니다. 특히 올해 아프라스에 처음으로 함께 해주신 칠레, 인도네시아, 말레이시아, 그리고 태국 대표단 여러분들께도 감사드리고 환영합니다. 아프라스는 아태 지역 내 글로벌 식품 안전 관리에 대한 국가 간 전략적 협력을 견고히 하기 위해 작년 5월 설립되었습니다. 올해 1월 대한민국 식품안전처 내에 아프라스 사무국을 신설하였으며 디지털 안전관리 등 3개의 실무 그룹을 운영하며 식품안전 분야 국제 협력에 새로운 지평을 열어가고 있습니다. 대한민국 식품의약품안전처는 아프라스 초대 의장국으로서 아태 지역 회원국들의 협력을 공고히 하는데 최선을 다하겠습니다. 아프라스 2024가 글로벌 식품 안전 이슈에 대한 해결책을 모색하며 식품 안전 혁신을 위한 새로운 여정에 함께하는 의미 있는 자리가 되기 바랍니다. Welcome to APRAS 2024.
Thank you very much. There was opening remarks delivered by Minister Oh Yu-kyung. It was an insightful speech on the need for international cooperation in the field of food safety within the Asia-Pacific region. Thank you. And next, we'll hear a welcome remarks from Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, who has graciously joined us. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
존경하는 내외 귀빈 여러분, 아시아 태평양 식품규제기관장 협의체 회의의 개최를 진심으로 축하드립니다. 한국을 찾아주신 아태 지역 10개국의 식품규제기관장과 국제기구 대표단 여러분께 따뜻한 환영과 감사의 인사를 드립니다. 이 자리에 함께해 주신 주한 외교사절단과 기업인 여러분께도 깊이 감사드립니다. 오늘날 식품에는 과거와 같은 국경이 없습니다. 특히 기후위기와 글로벌 공급망 재편, 신기술 도입 등의 환경 변화로 다양한 위기와 도전에 직면해 있습니다. 글로벌 식품 시장이 서로 밀접하게 연결된 만큼 국가 간 연대와 협력이 매우 중요합니다. 이러한 때에 아태 지역 국가들이 모여 식품 규제와 안전 관리에 대해 논의하는 이 자리가 더욱 각별한 의미가 있다고 생각합니다. 올해는 New Pathways for Food Safety Innovation in Asia Pacific Region 이라는 주제로 한자리에 모였습니다. 새롭게 대두되고 있는 글로벌 식품 안전 이슈와 함께 식품 안전 관리의 디지털 전환에 관한 심도 있는 논의가 펼쳐질 것으로 기대합니다. 이를 위해 대한민국은 QR코드로 제공하는 식품 안전 정보와 수입 식품 전자 심사 시스템을 비롯한 디지털 기반의 행정 경험을 공유하고자 합니다. 안전한 식품이 국경을 넘나들 수 있도록 국가별로 최신의 식품 규제 정보를 공유하는 방안과 식품 산업의 새로운 성장을 견인할 글로벌 기준에 대한 논의도 이루어질 것입니다. 아울러 세포 배양 식품을 비롯하여 새로운 방식으로 생산되는 식품의 안전 관리도 폭넓게 논의하여 주시기를 기대합니다. 내외 귀빈 여러분, 건강하고 안전한 식생활은 세계 시민이 누려야 할 기본적인 권리입니다. 특히 국외에서 생산된 식품의 안전 이슈가 국내의 먹거리 안전에 직접적인 영향을 주는 시대입니다. 이제는 모든 나라가 국제적인 연대와 협력을 통해 식품의 안전성을 함께 제고해 나가야 합니다. 앞으로도 아프라스가 안전한 먹거리에 영향을 미치는 국제적인 공조를 이끌어내고 글로벌 식품 시장을 선도해 나가기를 바랍니다. 협의체에 관심과 지지를 보내주신 11개 회원국과 3개 국제기구 대표단 여러분에게 따뜻한 감사의 인사를 드립니다. 이번 방안이 여러분에게 소중한 추억이 되길 기대합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. That was welcome remarks by Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. He highlighted the importance of the close solidarity and the cooperation between countries to respond to the global food safety crisis. Thank you very much. And following this, we'll have a congratulatory remarks from our distinguished guest, wishing for the successful hosting and fruitful outcomes of APRAS 2024. Firstly, Ambassador Jeff Robinson from the Australian Embassy to Korea will deliver the congratulatory remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him.
한정리님, excuse me, 오창관님, 여러분 안녕하십니까? Good afternoon, everyone. It's really my pleasure to start the congratulatory remarks, but can I say at the beginning, the opening performance, the combined traditional Korean dance with technology, is so representative of modern Korea. I thought it was terrific, so thank you very much for that. So, a safe food supply is, of course, vital for our consumers, food companies, and indeed our global trading community. Like other sectors, the food production sector is evolving, and regulators must keep pace. New technologies in food production and manufacturing offer opportunities but also pose challenges. Governments and industries are pursuing sustainability goals and at the same time striving to increase food production. Underpinning it all is the fundamental need to ensure the food we consume is safe and trusted for human health and well-being and continued global development and prosperity. Food safety is a shared responsibility, and it is a matter for partnership, collaboration, and sharing of knowledge. That is why we are all here. I commend the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety for bringing our nations together last year to establish this summit. I'm honoured to be here today representing Australia, accompanied by leaders from Food Standards Australia and New Zealand and the Australian Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry. Australia, of course, is a major food exporter and has a reputation as a trusted and reliable supplier in international markets. But like all of us here, we need to proactively identify and respond to changes and challenges in the international food sector landscape. By working together, we can communicate, innovate, cooperate, and strengthen our capabilities in food regulation and safe food production while supporting safe and unrestricted trade. Given all of that, I very sincerely thank the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. Thank you to the APRAS member countries, and I look forward on behalf of the Australian delegation to a very valuable and successful summit. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Jeff Robinson. We highly appreciate your participation and taking the time to speak to us today. Thank you. And next, we'll have congratulatory remarks from Maria Dizon de Vega, the Philippine Ambassador to the Republic of Korea. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, Minister Oh Yu-kyung of MFDS, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of delegation to APFRAS, colleagues in government, including the technical experts from the Philippine delegation joining the APFRAS summit today. Ladies and gentlemen, mabuhay, annyeonghasimnika yorobun. Allow me to convey my congratulations to the Republic of Korea for hosting the 2024 Asia-Pacific Food Regulatory Authority Summit. Food safety remains one of the most relevant issues in food and agricultural policy. For the Philippines, through the Department of Agriculture, we take cognizance of this fact and have taken major steps to strengthen our food safety regulatory regime. Our participation in this summit marks our commitment to engage with other member countries in harmonizing our regulatory regimes by formulating more streamlined and globally aligned regulations. This summit is also an opportune platform to facilitate the efficient exchange of information about developments in our regulatory requirements. We cannot overemphasize the vital role of information in the future of food and agricultural policy. Information will define the next generation as we traverse further the challenges of our age. Through these efforts, we envision a future where trade of food and other agricultural commodities becomes seamless without necessarily compromising food safety. This summit also serves as an appropriate venue to discuss pressing issues on sustainability in relation to our food systems. The Philippines is one of the most climate vulnerable and disaster risk-prone nations in the world. Currently, the El Niño dry spell and drought has brought damage to Philippine agriculture, reaching the level of 5.9 billion pesos or $103 million, affecting more than 3.6 million Filipinos across the country and in the very vulnerable agriculture and food sector. And after this current heat wave, we already have early warning signs of our climate and weather agencies raised for La Niña, or increased tropical cyclones starting the month of June, which once again threatens our largely agriculture-dependent nation. This cycle illustrates the nexus between climate change and global food security and the impact on supply limitations, price increases, and diminished food safety. This is also why a summit like APFRAS is important and beneficial to countries, including the Philippines. We have a lot to learn and contribute to discussions on potential ways forward in recalibrating our food safety regulatory systems in consideration of the impact of current food systems on our environment. We likewise offer the perspective of a highly resilient agricultural nation currently in the process of agricultural modernization. Our priorities include reforms in our food safety regime and elevating regulatory standards and processing using digital means, and all these are areas of shared interest with the Republic of Korea and other countries present today. We look forward to enriching discussions of future forward innovations on emerging food security safety issues that will address current challenges in our rapidly evolving food sector. It is crucial for us to acknowledge that our food systems account for more than 30% of global greenhouse emissions, most of which occur at the farming and food processing stages. These lead us to a conclusion that reforms in our food safety regulatory regimes must be comprehensive, holistic, and sustainable. I invite our fellow participating countries to give our full support to the agenda of the AFRAS this year and for a successful summit as we move forward towards our vision for a food-secure world with food safety as one of its key pillars. Thank you. Maraming salamat. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you very much. Yes, I firmly believe that as APRAS progresses further, it brings mutual benefits to all member nations. Thank you, Ambassador, for the remarks. Next, we'll hear congratulatory remarks from Mr. Diego Varela, the Executive Secretary of the National Food Safety and Quality Agency. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thanks. It's nice to see so many friends and meeting new friends here in these amazing countries. My first time here, and I'm very excited. I came in last night, and it's really beautiful. So my name is Diego Varela. I'm the director of the Chilean Food Safety and Quality Agency, and I'm also the vice chair of the Codex Alimentarius Commission. I would like to start by thanking the Republic of Korea through His Excellency the Prime Minister Han and Dr. Yoo Kong-yong Oh, Minister of the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, for the kind invitation that was extended to Chile to participate in this second meeting of AFPRAS. Chile is a country with a long-standing and successful food tradition, sustained by long-term state policies accompanied by active collaboration with the private sector. And this has allowed us, for decades now, to offer safe, high-quality, and sustainable food products all over the world. The food that is produced in Chile reaches more than 150 countries. For my country, food safety plays a central role from a competitive perspective, but also from an ethical one, as food safety prevents illnesses and death. We also recognize food safety is a complex issue, and this is why we endeavor to bring the best available knowledge and look for international partners to improve our national food control system. Chilean institutions are known to be efficient and professional on the work that they do. The Livestock and Agricultural Service, SAG, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Service, and NAPESCA, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and ATIPIA continuously work to improve our capacity to make food safe. But we also know there is no space for too much self-congratulation, and this is why we're working with the FAO to improve our national food control system. Chile is an open economy. We export and import food from all over the world. We rely on the proper functioning of international trade to keep our citizens well-fed and healthy. This means we're also very active in the World Trade Organization, the Codex Alimentarius Commission, the World Animal Health Organization, the International Plant Protection Convention, IPPC. The Asia-Pacific region is at the heart of our food import-export strategy, and this is why we're also very active in this region, along with other economies through APEC. As you can see, we acknowledge and we celebrate how connected the world is when it comes to food production and trade as an important component of food security. And hence, we celebrate and appreciate being invited to this session of AFRAS. I look forward to the very interesting discussions that will take place here. Chile is a supplier of safe, high-quality, and sustainable food products to the Asia-Pacific region. But please also consider us a partner and a friend to foster dialogue, to promote cooperation, to build alliances in the food sector, to strengthen the ruling system of international food trade, and to look for solutions to the many challenges that we are facing as we transition to sustainable food systems. In my capacity now as Vice Chair of the Codex Alimentarius Commission, I would like to extend greetings from Steve Warren, the Chair of the Codex Alimentarius Commission, and my fellow Vice Chairs, Alan Asegele and Raj Rajasekar. Codex has 188 member countries and 1 member organization and over 230 observers. It is truly a global player. Hundreds of guidelines and codes of practice and over 10,000 medical standards provide internationally agreed limits for additives, contaminants, and residues of pesticides and veterinary drugs are all openly published and available without cost to anybody through our website. Equally valuable is the process by which Codex standards are drafted through an open and inclusive science-based consultation, drawing on a system of FAO and WHO joint expert committees. Although the process can sometimes seem slow, it is this process that delivers and demonstrates our continuing adherence to transparency, consensus building, inclusivity, and collaboration. And it is also this process that delivers robust global food standards that are fit for incorporation into international food control systems in both developing and developed countries alike. On the invitation that I received to participate on this event, it was mentioned that the objectives of APFRAS were to address common challenges in the food sector, such as global food policy, emerging food technology, and safe trade, and to contribute to global shared values, including carbon neutrality, digitalization, and sustainable food systems. It is very difficult to put all these issues together and have a productive discussion. So my sincere congratulations to the organizers for the ambitious agenda and for bringing a forward-looking perspective on the discussions about food regulation. More and more, I sense that there is a recognition that things are connected, that decisions taken in one area have an impact on other areas too. But again, this is too difficult because we don't know much. We have to learn a lot. And so to learn, we shall talk, we shall meet, we shall put our heads together, and the more we do so, the more competent we become to address these complex issues in a holistic way, thinking through a systems approach. Codex is undergoing very interesting discussions. We are asking ourselves, how does food safety support a transition to a sustainable system? What role should Codex play? And we already have some very excellent examples of some standards that are contributing to sustainable food systems. And I have many examples, but I would like to highlight one. And those are the recently approved texts on countering antimicrobial resistance along the food chain, something that was carried out here under the leadership of Korea. But in food safety, as in Codex, nothing is ever finished. Everything needs to be reviewed in light of new developments, in light of new context. So as we draft the new strategic plan, we ask ourselves, how does Codex continue to contribute to challenges imposed to reduce food loss, malnutrition, food fraud, climate change, and other issues that are making it more complex to produce safe food? And how does Codex do it in a flexible and proactive way without losing its essence? I look forward to the dialogues that we will have today, and I'll be paying close attention to the discussion around the need for coordinating and cohesive actions in global food policy and ideas on how to give shape and form to this notion that food safety contributes to building a more resilient and sustainable world. To close, please allow me to thank again the kind invitation that was extended to Chile from the government of the Republic of Korea to participate on this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Through his remarks, he congratulated on hosting APRAS 2024, which is a new journey for food safety innovation. Thank you very much. And next, we'll have a congratulatory speech from Mr. Wang Tae-han, the Chief Inspector of Food Safety of State Administration for Market Regulations. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
尊敬的总理阁下，还有来自世界各国和我一样从事食品安全的同事们、女士们、先生们，还有朋友们，下午好。大家好，我非常高兴呢， 参加这次亚太食品监管机构峰会。我来自中国国家市场监督管理总局，所以我代表中国国家市场监督管理总局向此次亚太食品监管机构峰会的召开表示热烈祝贺，向韩国食品药品安全部对峰会的大力支持表示感谢。食品安全事关公众健康和生命安全。那么大家都知道呢，中国拥有悠久的饮食文化，是食品生产的消费大国，更是生产大国，也是消费大国。那么我们中国的食品经营者呢，也数量非常庞大。随着食品科学技术的发展与应用，食品产业快速的发展，消费方式的不断转变，食品生产链、供应链日趋复杂，给食品安全风险带来了巨大的挑战。近年来，中国政府在体制机制、法律法规、产业规划、监督管理等方面采取了一系列的不懈的努力，不断完善食品安全治理体系，提高从农田到餐桌全过程的监管能力，提升食品安全链条质量安全保障水平，逐步形成了由食品安全法规、法律行政法规、部门规章、地方性法规和地方政府规章、食品安全标准及各种规范性文件共同组成的食品安全监督法律框架体系。那么这些年来，我们坚持问题导向，针对不同主体、不同品类、不同环节可能出现的食品安全问题隐患，制定了风险防控清单，并督促指导生产经营主体严格落实。那么，在政府、企业和社会各方的共同努力下，中国食品安全的状况应该说是稳定向好的，公众饮食安全得到了越来越好的保障，公众对食品安全的满意度不断上升。那么，女士们、先生们，我们也认为食品安全问题是全球共同面临的挑战，保障食品安全、守护公众健康是我们共同的责任。中国食品安全监管机构非常愿意在亚太食品监管机构峰会的框架下，与国际同行加强交流与合作，共同应对风险挑战，共同维护同一个健康。预祝此次亚太食品监管机构峰会取得圆满成功。谢谢大家。
Thank you very much. That was the congratulatory speech by Mr. Wang Tehan, the Chief Inspector. Thank you. I hope today's event will be a big step towards APRAS becoming the meaningful model for international regulatory cooperation in the food sector. Thank you all for all the remarks. And with that, we'll conclude the opening ceremony of the APRAS 2024. And we're going to have a break, and we're going to have conference at 3:05 o'clock. So for those of you who are joining us for the conference, please be back by 3:05 p.m. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you. conference, and we hope this will be a valuable opportunity to foster the cooperation among food regulators in the Asia-Pacific region and discuss global food safety issues. Thank you once again for your participation. I will now soon begin the conference. Once again, we do provide a simultaneous interpretation for this conference as well. Please take advantage of the device in front of you. Channel number 1 is for Korean, and channel number 2 is for English, and channel number 3 is for Chinese, and channel number 4 is for Vietnamese. Thank you. All right, let's kickstart the conference of the APRAS 2024. Professor Ha Sang-do from Department of Food Science and Technology of Chungang University will be the moderator of the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a warm round of applause. As he settles down on the stage, I would like to introduce him briefly. Professor Ha Sang-do, distinguished for his tenure in food engineering at Chungang University, assumes key roles as the director of the Korea Food Safety Institute and the chairman of the Society of Food Safety and Hygiene Research. And he also serves as a specialist member of the Food Safety Policy Committee at the Prime Minister's Secretariat and holds the position of vice chairman at the Food Hygiene Review Committee of the Ministry of the Food and Drug Safety. Professor Ha exemplifies a pioneering researcher in the realm of the food safety. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him once again with a big round of applause.
네, 여러분 안녕하십니까? 중앙대 하상도입니다. 지난해에 이어 올해도 진행을 도와드리겠습니다. Hello everyone, I'm Sang-do Ha, a professor at Chungang University. Continuing from last year, I'm pleased to serve as a moderator and meet you all again this year. We extend a warm welcome to all the heads of the regulatory authorities from member countries attending APRAS this year, including those who are joining us for the first time. This conference was organized by Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, MFDS of Republic of Korea, to reiterate the proposal of APRAS, which is sustainable development in the food sector and effective response to global environmental changes among member countries, and to listen to the free opinion of experts. Today's conference will feature 3 keynote speeches and a panel discussion. The person who will open the conference is Corinna Hawks, Director of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO. The director will deliver a keynote speech on the topic, importance of strategic solidarity in the global food regulatory environment. Well, then, let's welcome the director to the stage. Please welcome her with loud applause.
Thank you very much. Minister, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, greetings from the Codex Secretariat in Rome and from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, where I'm Director of the Division of Agri-Food Systems and Food Safety. It's an honor to be giving this speech today. Thank you very much. I'm going to be talking about the importance of strategic collaboration for the global food regulatory environment. And I want to start, this is the overall contents. I'll be starting talking about food systems, drivers and trends, key challenges, the role of strategic collaboration, and end by touching on the second theme of this meeting today, technology, innovation, and digital. So let me just start with the fundamental point that food touches so many parts of our lives and so many parts of our societies, whether it's nutrition, culture, economic, society, or health. It's important to us in so many ways. And that reflects the fact that there are so many different components to food and agriculture. There's all of the activities that bring our food from the farm to our plates. That's agriculture, processing, distribution, trade, marketing, retailing, and then, of course, the disposal of food. And in that process of food, producing food and bringing it onto our tables, there are many different interactions and relationships. And those interactions and relationships mean that there is multiple outcomes of food systems. Of course, the ultimate purpose of food systems is to produce food, to produce safe and nutritious food. But in so doing, it has many other outcomes: environmental outcomes, health outcomes, outcomes that affect inequalities, that affect livelihoods and economic development. And in that process, there's many, many institutions, many stakeholders, many people, many disciplines. And then there are interrelated systems to the food system. That the economic system, the financial system, the technological system, the transportation system, the energy system, all of these interact with our food system. So these food systems are profoundly interconnected. And this makes it a complex world for operating in food safety. And it means that making one change in one part of that food system, or agri-food system, as we say at FAO, can lead to changes in other parts. So that means it's dynamic and unpredictable. And there are many different drivers that change the food system, whether it be technological innovation or urbanization, the behavior of consumers, climate change, all the new food sources we were learning about at the exhibition this morning. There are so many different elements that play in together to affect the outcomes of the agri-food system, all of which have profound implications for the ability of our world to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So let's look at some of these drivers. Urbanization. The world is becoming more urban. That's profoundly changing how food is distributed, how food is supplied, and how food is consumed. And that has many food safety implications. Food is traded all around the world, regionally, internationally. And those dynamics are important, have been important for many years, but they too are changing, and they affect different types of foods in different ways. There are many different trends which were affecting the private sector. There's growth of new foods, as I mentioned, alternative proteins, nutraceuticals. The rise of e-commerce, of course, which particularly came about in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, digitization, personalized nutrition, robotics. All of these things really have profound implications for how the private sector is providing our food to us today. So we live in a quite unpredictable but dynamic and exciting agri-food system. But it faces many, many challenges. And the first one, I'm afraid to say, is that the food system is still not fundamentally achieving its purpose. The State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World report, which is produced by FAO in collaboration with our sister UN agencies, estimated in 2022 that between 691 and 783 million people faced hunger in 2022. More than 3.1 billion people were unable to afford a healthy diet in 2021. And in the Asia-Pacific region alone, around 350 million people are estimated to be undernourished. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can agree that this is not good enough. Of course, one contribution to undernourishment is when food is not safe. And despite the tremendous strides in progress that we have seen in food safety over the years, we still know that around 600 million people fall ill every year after eating contaminated food. In the Asia-Pacific region, it's estimated, and it's hard to estimate, but it's estimated to be around 275 million people. So it's in this ever-changing landscape, the food safety risks continue. Old food safety issues may get addressed, but they never get fully addressed. They get always re-emerging. There is a need for constant vigilance. And we need to have safe food if we are to have food security. And of course, the other key challenge is environmental sustainability. I show this slide because we know we do need to increase our supply of food in order to feed the world's population. But as we do that, we are increasing the amount of emissions of greenhouse gases. And so this is a good example of where there may be a trade-off, difficult decisions that be made because there are these interconnections in the food system. If you try and solve one problem by producing more food, you might have an unintended consequence of an equally important problem that then undermines the ability to produce food in the future. And when we're thinking about food, we have to think about today, and we have to think about tomorrow. And as I indicated, all of these dynamic changes are affecting food safety. Climate change is just an example, but it's an important one. We know that climate change could lead to increased foodborne hazards. The evidence is also telling us that climate change will likely lead to a decrease of the micronutrient content of staple foods. Again, something very important for overall nourishment of our global population. So there are many challenges and opportunities, not least those in this region. Challenges where there is a need for international cooperation, but we still have diverse regulatory standards, different technologies being in different spaces in different places. There are resource limitations. There are high demands for consumers. There are issues around more traditional ways of providing food through street food, and at the same time, modern ways of eating, introducing risks for obesity and non-communicable diseases. But of course, there are so many opportunities, whether it's standards harmonization, policy development, raising awareness of consumers, innovation, and technology. But what this requires is strategic collaboration. When there are so many interconnected issues in our agri-food systems, so many different people, stakeholders, sectors, and institutions, and so many major challenges, of which I've only mentioned 3, there are many more. It's simply necessary to come together as a system, develop some shared priorities, some shared visions, to pool our knowledge, to share our knowledge, to pool our resources, and to come together around shared goals. Now, there's always going to be different perspectives. The conversations are going to be difficult. But if we're not willing to cooperate, if we're not willing to collaborate, if we're not willing to have those difficult conversations, we simply won't find the solutions that we need. And to do that, we need to start by thinking of the system and understanding all of these different interconnections so that we can understand how what we do affects what someone else does and how what someone else does affects us. That's at the heart of strategic collaboration. And this slide gives one example, which is One Health. Now, we know that there are issues at the intersection between animal health, people's health, and environmental health. And if we don't understand the interconnections between those issues, we're simply not going to be able to address evolving, emerging risks that are coming about in our world today. And we need to do that at multiple levels, at the global level, the regional level, the national level, and the local level, and vertically between all of those areas. So the complexity of agri-food systems really demands strategic collaboration. And if we work together collectively, we will be able to solve problems more easily because we'll be able to share experiences. We'll be able to get new ideas from people that help us think in different ways and come up with new solutions. We'll be able to borrow and share and understand each other's technologies that can be applied in different places. We'll be able to scale the innovations that we learn from elsewhere and see how we can pool resources in doing that. We also, of course, need to have that food regulatory environment and the global standards in appropriate ways that can help that collaboration and facilitate through the development of those rules and regulations. And this will simply be necessary for addressing global challenges. And while it may be challenging itself, will lead to the economic and social benefits that we all deeply care about. The Codex Secretariat and FAO is deeply committed to strategic collaboration, and I would like to share with you just a few examples. This is the Strategic Priorities document for food safety, which is led by my division at FAO. And by way of example, one of its commitments is to public and private stakeholder collaboration, where we can support both governments and food chain actors in the private sector, and to ensure that lessons are learned between those actors. The quadripartite collaboration on antimicrobial resistance is another example of collaboration between different sister agencies of the United Nations, as is, of course, the Codex Alimentarius Commission, or InfoSan, which works to predict emerging risks in the system. So there are many different examples in the international level of us trying to come together and work together to solve these problems. I'd also like to mention our sister agency, the World Health Organization, who equally has a commitment to building partnership and fostering global collaboration by encouraging technical cooperation between countries and conducting surveillance which enables us to understand the risks that we face. We see the same in the nutrition field, where the organization UN Nutrition brings together different UN agencies to try and work together and to understand each other's roles and responsibilities to maximize synergies to achieve shared goals. The One Health Joint Plan of Action from the FAO, the United Nations Environment Programme, the World Health Organization, and the World Organization for Animal Health is another example, where it has a series of different action tracks designed to reduce the risks, to strengthen assessment, and to integrate environmental considerations into the health aspects of One Health and overall to enhance capacities. And then, of course, there is Codex itself. And one of the most important areas of strategic collaboration in Codex, along with the standard setting process, which is an example par excellence, is the efforts done through Codex to support low and middle income countries. It's so important to have the Codex standards and the Codex guidelines, but we must make sure that they are implemented. And the Codex Trust Fund is one part of this process, which is at the initial level, making sure that low and middle income countries can fully participate in the Codex standard making process. And of course, I'd like to thank the Republic of Korea and others for their contribution for that vitally important trust fund. A second part of strategic collaboration between different countries in support of low and middle income countries is the ACT project, Action to Support Implementation of the Codex AMR text. And again, thank you to Korea for funding this project, which is giving technical support to different countries to really try and help countries where implementation is very, very low in Asia and Latin America. And that's done through collaboration through a range of countries along with FAO. And then more recently, this is just last December, with a former director of the Food Safety Bureau in Korea, which is empowering the implementation of One Health approaches. Again, strategically collaborating in order to learn from countries who are already taking this approach to help countries understand the risks, manage the risks, assess the risks, communicate the risks that come out of a One Health approach. Again, based on understanding these interconnections in the system. And of course, this meeting is a good example of how a meeting designed to establish strategic relationships to address common challenges. And it's a privilege to be participating. It's a complex system, There are many, many areas that require strategic collaboration. Of course, prioritization needs to happen, and that's what these conversations are about, is identifying where the needs are greatest. There's clearly a need for harmonization of food standards. There's these growing issues of new food sources, antimicrobial resistance. There's a clear benefit from sharing best practices, from helping understand each other's food control systems, and jointly building capacity to address issues such as food fraud and food waste. And all of these issues require a robust, equitable, and sustainable food regulatory framework. That is absolutely essential in order to have the framework with which you can collaborate, which you can interact, to provide some sense of an operating space that makes it feasible and viable. I'd just like to end by touching on this point of technology and digitalization. So many of the issues that I've mentioned have technological components and can be supported through digitalization. I've just listed a few on the slide here. Many in the food environment and the consumers, traceability data, for example, around in the midstream food supply chain, around e-commerce, and numerous food production-related issues such as cell-based food technologies. And a big question for cooperation and collaboration now is how to most effectively leverage digital transformation, whether it be artificial intelligence, smart HACCP, as we were learning about this morning, mobile applications, and many more. And how digitalization can be used to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of food regulation at the national, region, and global levels. So, ladies and gentlemen, in order to achieve what we need to achieve in the future, we firstly need to recognize the interconnections in our agri-food systems and how food safety is affected by each of those dynamic and always evolving connections. We need to put into place regulatory frameworks that capture and manage the many different actions that need to be taken in the system. We need to come together as a community in order to help work through these challenges that require international and global collaboration. And we also need to learn by doing. We need to monitor, learn, and evaluate as we go, because we're living in a dynamic and unpredictable, a difficult to predict system. And that means that we must put into place constant monitoring, constant learning processes, so that when we make a change and the system adapts, we also adapt and can change. And of course, that is one of the greatest challenges, is adapting the standards, adapting the regulations, adapting the work that we do in this constantly changing environment. The work is hard. And I would like to end to quote the FAO Director General, Dr. Chu Dongyu, to emphasize that to deliver these solutions in this dynamic landscape, we need collaboration across countries, communities, the private sector, research institutions, international organizations, and all partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to give a big applause to Director Colina Hawks for her great presentation again. Next, a panel discussion will be held with the head of regulatory agencies from the 11 countries attending today on the keynote speech. The order of presentation will be in alphabetical order by country name. The head of regulatory agencies who have been called, please stand up at your own seat and make your presentation, please. First, Ambassador Jeff Robinson from the Australian Embassy in Korea will speak first, please.
I'm the General Manager of Science and Risk Assessment at Food Standards Australia, New Zealand. So the Ambassador has ducked out, so he's left me to make the opening remarks. So a safe food supply is vital for consumers, for food businesses, and for a global trading community, and that cannot be understated. Food regulators and the food industry work collaboratively and productively to build and protect this reputation, both domestically and internationally. Australia's reputation as producing safe and reliable food and agricultural goods is underpinned by a robust, evidence-based food regulatory and export system. All imported food in Australia must comply with the standards that are set, and the standards are again based in that risk category. Australia's domestic food regulatory system supports our high food safety standards and global reputation for quality food products. Australian standards are aligned to Codex, and we value the importance of Codex in setting international standards and promoting international consistency. Australia and New Zealand maintain a shared system for most, but not all aspects of food regulation. This collaboration strengthens our systems and reduces duplication and effort and makes us focus on the key risks in food systems. The binational nature of Australia and New Zealand food regulatory system is unique and is based on strong, evidence-based food standards that protect public health and safety at the forefront and ensure that consumers have access to safe food. The comprehensive, cooperative binational system underpins a high level of confidence and quality and safety of the food that's produced. All levels of government in Australia play a vital role in ensuring a safe food system, and this work certainly extends to the international region that we operate within. Sharing food standards across Australia and New Zealand and harmonising with international standards provides consistency for consumers, for food businesses, and ensures that we can export efficiently and maintain that safety and trust in the food that's sold. Regionally, we share the same food safety challenges. We're seeing new foods coming to market, new food production systems. We're seeing climate change, new food risks associated with that. The more that we can collaborate, the more that we can share information, the better the outcomes for food systems globally. Australia welcomes the strategic collaboration that we have in this room and welcomes the ongoing discussions. The agenda is ambitious, and we are very keen to be involved in these discussions now and going forward. So I would like to just thank our host, South Korea, for putting together this and bringing us all in the same room to engage in these discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Jeff Robinson. Australia will be the first, alphabetically. The next will be Chile. Diego Varela, Commissioner of the Food Safety and Quality Authority of Chile, will give a discussion speech. Chile attended for the first time this year. Please.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you, Corina, for that great presentation. And my takeaway would be the need to collaborate, for more cooperation across countries, but of course within our country, across different stakeholders, different ministries, different institutions, the industry, the academia. And when we talk about food safety, we always say that it has to be science-based, and we do the hard science, and I would say that science is not the issue, but rather the very difficult decision to learn to communicate. And sometimes when we are doing food safety, we tend to hide behind the science, and we are not so good at communicating in very simple ways. And when you communicate, you try to convince, you tell a story. So becoming storytellers, better storytellers about, for example, how food safety improves our capacity to become sustainable is something that we need to incorporate. I was talking about how hard it is to communicate, how easy science is, and it's not that science is easy, but we have that part, and I see it in Codex Alimentarius. We have the science, but what allows Codex to be so successful also is the way in which we draft our standards. We do it following our core values of inclusiveness, transparency, and I would also highlight that we do it because we compromise. And that is very difficult to do, to compromise, to get to a point in which you don't get everything that you want, but get to a final result that satisfies everybody involved. So I think that the main challenge is to be better communicators, and it's a political challenge to convince authorities. Many countries are at different levels. Some countries are going into very high-tech, another whole level of how you do food safety, while other countries have different needs for infrastructure or education. So comprehending that, communicating that, getting everybody on board, convincing the policymakers, I think that's the political challenge that we have in food safety, and understanding that everything is connected. So I really thank you, Corina, for that great presentation that got me thinking onto how do we communicate better to incorporate everyone and convince everyone that food safety is really needed for food security, for a better life. And I'm going to quote you on a podcast that I think I heard you, that food systems are a main source of problems of what the issues that we have now, but also from food systems you have the solution to most of the challenges that we have now. So thank you, and thank you, Korea, for hosting this. As I said, very difficult to have a reasonable conversation with all these things mixed together, but it also shows how forward-thinking this forum seems to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Diego Varela. Next will be China. Wang Taehan, Food Safety Commissioner of the State Administration for Market Regulation of China, will give a discussion speech. Please.
谢谢主持人，实在对不起在座的各位，我的英文不是很流利，所以我用我的母语中文来给大家介绍一些相关的情况。我不知道谁来翻译一下，是不是有同传啊？好的，谢谢大家。那么我来自于中国，叫国家市场监管总局，我的职务呢叫食品安全总监，那么主要是专门做食品安全监管的工作。大家都知道呢，食品刚才我也讲了，在中国呢，食品呢这个一直解决生存的问题，用满足公众的食品的需求，一直是来一个非常大的问题。中国呢是一个大国，更是一个食品的生产大国，更是个消费大国。那么我们在中国呢，我们曾经出国统计过，中国人民一天就要销售叫消费40亿斤食品。那么我们有多少生产的主体呢？有1700万的生产主体。所以在中国呢，我们经常会说“民以食为天”，就是说食品安全是比天还大的事情。所以中国政府呢，历来非常对食品安全是非常非常高度重视的。但是我们这些年呢，这个中国的政府都非常重视，采取了也很多的措施，去不停地去改进食品安全的这种质量保障，要确保公众的食品安全和生命健康。政府呢采取了很多的措施，包括法律建设，包括具体监管措施的调整。所以我们在中国呢提出了4个最严，也就是最严谨的标准、最严格的监管、最严厉的处罚和最严肃的问责。这几年呢，中国的食品安全状况呢不断的好转，老百姓的满意度呢也越来越高。那么我们觉得这个食品安全呢，这个我赞同刚才大会这个提出的问题，就是说，确实食品安全是没有国界的。那么食品安全呢，在这些年来说，大家的从事贸易的往来，那么你中有我，我中有你，所以我们非常感谢，也愿意参加这个 APROS 这个，也非常感谢韩方举办这个东西，使给大家创造一个非常好的一个交流平台。那么在这里呢，我们也提一点建议。第一点建议呢，我们认为呢，食品安全的这种风险信息的互相沟通是非常重要的，因为这个早发现对于早预防、早做出措施，这个是非常非常重要的。我们希望在大会的框架下呢，能够增加这种风险的交流机制，互相提前通报、及时通报，那么会共同采取措施。第二个呢，我觉得还有一个呢，就是想提一个建议，在大会上，就是说刚才也提到一些技术交流。那么食品安全呢，随着这个发展呢，很多新的技术都可以在食品安全监管上可以达到实现，包括现在我们提供的追溯技术，还有 AI 识别，包括增加品牌、增加这个食品安全监管全流程监管，都需要一些新的技术，也是新技术在食品安全监管里的应用。那么，如果世界各国在这一方面有好的经验、好的交流，我也如果大会有可能的话，可以做一个案例集，是吧？然后有好的案例，我们可以分享，大家可以分享。每一条具体的这种实践的经验，在解决具体问题上，应该会发挥非常非常好的作用。第三个呢，我想建议就在大会下可以做一些关于标准的认证认可。刚才呢，这个联合国联农组织的这个局长已经参与的，我也高度赞同。很多在食品安全的标准呢，东西是相通的。那么我们在这个大会的框架下，有一些标准实现互联互通、认证认可，对于我们相互的进出口，对于共同保障各国人民的这个身体健康是非常有意义的。那么我就说这么多，谢谢大家。
Thank you again, Commissioner Wang Tae-han. Next will be Indonesia. We'll listen to the discussion speech by Lucia Andalusia, Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, FDA of Indonesia. Indonesia also attended for the first time this year. Please welcome her.
Thank you. I'm grateful to APRAS for creating this vital platform for collaboration in food safety. as the regulatory body responsible for ensuring the safety of food and drugs in Indonesia, we are privileged to contribute to this pivotal discussion. Indonesia have commitment to food safety. Food safety is a paramount responsibility shared by all nations. In Indonesia, we have established a comprehensive integrated food safety system that ensures food safety, quality, and nutritional value throughout the entire supply chain. This system stands as a testament to our unwavering commitment to food safety. The Indonesia FDA is primarily responsible for controlling the safety, quality, and nutritional value of processed foods. We work in close coordination with other government bodies, including the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Affairs, who complement our effort for attaining national food safety through a safeguard fresh food commodities. We adhere to stringent international safety and quality standards, ensuring that Indonesia food products comply with global food safety regulation. Our commitment extends to protecting consumer health, promoting fair trade practices, and supporting sustainable food production methods. Underpinning our approach is the fundamental recognition that food safety is a shared priority that requires collective action. In Indonesia, we emphasize the embody a collaborative approach, recognizing that we cannot achieve our goals in isolation. This spirit of collaboration inspires us to work together towards a safer food future. AFRAS is not just a platform, but a catalyst for positive change. It brings together government, agencies, industry partners, and regulatory bodies, enabling us to make a significant collective impact on global food safety. We are particularly enthusiastic about initiatives promoting sustainable food production, such as developing safety standards for recycled plastic. Staying ahead with emerging food safety technologies is not just a necessity, but an exciting opportunity. We eagerly anticipate the adoption of real-time verification tools which could revolutionize customer protection globally, and we invite you to share in our optimism about the future of food safety. Additionally, we see tremendous potential in leveraging artificial intelligence and other advanced technology to enhance risk assessment and inspection, marking the transformative era in food safety management. Through AFRAS, we aim to harmonize standards, improve child nutrition through consistent commitment on reducing sugar, fat, and salt content in food, and build a more secure food future for all. We view AFRAS as a springboard for collaborative exploration and innovation in food safety. Let's utilize this platform to fortify our collective commitment. Together, we can ensure that customers around the world enjoy access to safe, nutritious, and high-quality food. Thank you for all the commitment and to advancing global food safety. Together, we can make a lasting impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Lucia Andalusia. Next will be Malaysia. Mr. Norani Aksan, Director of Food Safety Standards at the Ministry of Health, Malaysia. Please comment on the discussion. Malaysia also attended for the first time this year. Please.
Thank you very much, Minister, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all. It is an honor for me, representing Malaysia Food Safety Regulatory and Authority, together here in this beautiful conference room for the first time. More importantly, to join the Food Regulatory Authority of the Asia Pacific to exchange views on our priorities, opportunities, and challenges in today's modern food trade. For Malaysia, I strongly believe in strategic collaboration between regulators, competent authorities, international organizations, non-governmental organizations as an important factor in ensuring food safety that cannot be overstated. In a world where food production systems are increasingly interconnected and interdependent, collaboration among stakeholders is paramount. As the Food Regulatory Authority, Malaysia has been actively participating in various platforms, international and regional, from Codex to WTO SPS and TBT Committee, ASEAN platform, APEC, bilateral and multilateral platform. This is mainly to keep ourselves on track with development in food safety issues, emerging concern, advancement in technology, as well as other related areas that impacted food safety, such as the climate change and the One Health global effort. In ASEAN, Malaysia is the host and secretariat for the ASEAN Risk Assessment Center for Food Safety, or ARAC, that carry out independent food safety risk assessment for the ASEAN member states, utilizing available scientific resources by pooling and utilizing scientific expertise across ASEAN. The increasingly globalization of food trade, urbanization, changing consumption pattern, the intensification of agriculture, increasing travel and tourism, and new types of production and manufacturing system are some of the trends that are having an impact on food safety in many countries, including in ASEAN. It was an important landmark for ASEAN collaboration as our commitment and dedicated effort for developing evidence-based food safety measures. In addressing these different dimensions, strategic collaboration enables regulators to stay ahead of the curve, and I can see APRAF as another platform that can benefit us in complement with other international platforms to address common challenges and to prepare for the unexpected. And I believe Malaysia can gain more knowledge and contribute to this discussion. Lastly, I also would like to take this opportunity to thank Korea for the kind invitation to attend this session. And I would like to thank you, and I look forward to connect with everyone in this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Norani Eksan. Next will be New Zealand. Vincent Albuquerque, New Zealand Deputy Minister of Food and Safety, Ministry of Primary Industry, will be given a discussion speech. Please.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by once again thanking the Republic of Korea's Ministry for Food and Drug Safety for organising this summit and bringing us all together today. I'm from New Zealand. It's a very small country. We've got 5 million people and 25 million sheep. So we're vastly outnumbered by sheep. We're quite a unique country. We produce significantly more food than we can consume. Something like 80% of the food that we produce is exported. So that's a ratio which would be unusual for many countries. And interestingly enough, we import a great deal of food as well. We import food from 180 countries across the globe. So we're both exporting food and then importing food. New Zealand is becoming increasingly a culturally diverse society. So we've got people from different cultures, different religious beliefs. So the need to import food from other countries to make sure that they can continue their cultural experience of food is terribly, terribly important. About 60% of our export earnings as a country is dependent on food. So we're a food-producing business. So to come today on behalf of New Zealand, I felt like I'm amongst friends. And to see a country that places food safety in such an important position is an inspiration to us and a message to all of us. The globe has never been more interconnected and dependent on each other in respect of the traffic and movement of food. As we become more dependent, we're exposed to more risk. You know, the pandemic, climate change events have shown us just how interdependent we all are. In the past, we've relied on just in time, but now we're moving to just in case. So increasingly, we are more and more dependent. My message today is a simple one. None of us can afford to operate in isolation anymore. We're more dependent and more dependent on regional cooperation, regional harmonisation and global harmonisation and cooperation. If we can achieve that, if we can build off the base of today, our people will be stronger, the globe will be a better place, and we'll feed the world in a coordinated, collaborative way. So my pitch today is very much to support the underlying philosophy of the summit, which is together we are stronger. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister Vincent Albuquerque. Next will be Philippines. Next, Paz Benavides II, Assistant Secretary for Policy and Regulations at the Philippines Department of Agriculture, will give a discussion speech. We met her last year, I remember. Please.
Yes, thank you. Before my response, I would like to again thank the Republic of Korea for once again for the excellent hosting of APRAS and of course for the very warm welcome. And also thank you, Ms. Karina, for the excellent presentation. So I totally agree that strategic collaboration among, particularly among trading partners and neighbors, is significant because it allows us to share information, best practices, challenges and opportunities. Regulatory authorities need not invent the wheel anymore again. No? Because there are excellent policy regimes, there are excellent practices that all we have to do is share our food safety regulatory challenges as well as opportunities, and how to address these challenges and how to grab the opportunities through appropriate actions. Moreover, as mentioned by the speaker, we are interconnected. No? The world is interconnected. And just like the web of life, one change in the web will have an impact not only on my country, but also have an impact on all of us. So it's important to have dialogues. It is important to have the sharing. It's important to have knowledge and awareness, whether on food safety, whether on environmental sustainability, or trade facilitation. And I think AFRAS, the platform, is offering all this to us through digitalization, as well as emerging technology sharing. And in fact, in the Philippines, it's also one of the priorities of our secretary, of our new secretary, to really push for digitalization to improve our delivery of service. Okay, so emerging technology can help us streamline processes, leading to more efficient food regulatory system. And in fact, even the informal discussion during lunch here or dinner, we already share information. Just like this lunchtime, we shared about GMO, how to address GM issues. So this is really important. And for the Philippines, this is again an opportune time because our new secretary also instructed us to do a review of all regulatory policies and make sure that this is based on good regulatory practices and that they are aligned with international standards and our obligations. So, and I know that what we will learn here through APRAS, we will already include in this review of our regulatory policies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paz Benavides II. Next will be chair country, Republic of Korea. We'll listen to the discussion from Minister of MFDS, Oh Yu-kyung. Please welcome her.
네, 오늘 좋은 강연을 해주신 코리나에게 우선 감사를 드립니다. 많은 패널분들께서 국제 협력의 중요성에 대해서 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 글로벌 공급망이 점점 확대되면서 한 나라의 식품 안전을 위한 노력만으로는 이제 세계 시민의 안전을 담보하기가 어렵게 되었습니다. 한 나라의 식품 안전 사고가 세계로 확대될 수가 있고, 그렇지만 우리가 신속하게 연대하고 대응한다면 이러한 식품 안전 사고가 확대되는 것에 긴밀히 대처할 수가 있습니다. 국가 간의 정보 공유가 필요한 이유입니다. 국가 간의 정보 공유가 굉장히 다양할 수가 있겠지만 우선은 대한민국 식약처가 가지고 있는 디지털 정보 공유가 굉장히 중요할 것입니다. 조금 전에 중국 식품 총감인 왕태양께서 말씀하신 것처럼 실질적으로 우리가 현재 하고 있는 것을 나누는 것이 굉장히 도움이 될 것이라고 생각해서 디지털 안전관리 혁신과 디지털 행정에 대해서 대한민국 식약처는 아프라스를 통해서 우선적으로 공유하고자 합니다. 이러한 경험들이 아프라스 회원국의 상호 이익을 도모하고 또 아프라스 회원국에 있는 모든 국민들의 건강을 증진할 수 있을 것으로 기대합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Minister Oh. Next will be Singapore. I'd like to ask Dr. Tan Lee Kim, Deputy Commissioner of the Singapore Food Authority. Thank you very much. We are welcome your discussion remark, please.
Good afternoon, Minister, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Food is existential. As previous speakers have mentioned, food systems are complex with many components and interdependencies. Transformation of food system to be more resilient and sustainable can further impact the supply of safe food. Under this operating context, Singapore feeds ourselves by importing over 90% of our food supply. Our food comes from 180 countries and regions. Korea, and I dare say all the countries represented in this summit are Singapore's food sources. Therefore, Singapore believes in the development, harmonization, and adoption of food safety standards at the international level to enable smooth and efficient trade while protecting consumers from unsafe food. We support the work of standard-setting bodies like Codex Alimentarius and the dialogues enabled by UN platforms such as those by FAO and WHO. Regional cooperation, such as today's Asia-Pacific Food Regulatory Authority Summit, is also an important part of the equation to the global food safety work. Thank you to Korea for inviting Singapore to participate in this summit. Singapore is committed to global work on food safety. We have benefited much from international standards, so we want to now give back. One of our efforts is garnering collective drive towards safety assessment and standards development of cell-based food. This is a good case in point for strategic collaboration. It is only with collective efforts that we can progress to realize the potential that cell-based food can contribute to resilient and sustainable food systems in feeding the world. As the first country to approve cell-based meat product, Singapore believes that we have much to contribute and bring like-minded authorities together. In this regard, Singapore will submit 2 cell-based food-related proposals to Codex CC Exec 86. One will be the guidelines for safety assessment of cell-cultured media. The second is on a code of hygienic practice for manufacture of cell-based meat. Singapore looks forward to the support of authorities in this summit on our 2 proposals to Codex. We will be happy to share with you more if you would like more details. Before I end, I just want to congratulate Korea on your excellent organization of this summit and for your very warm hospitality. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tan Lee Kim, Deputy Commissioner. Next will be Thailand. Mr. Lotjai Robut, Deputy Commissioner of the Thailand FDA, will give a discussion speech. Thailand also attended for the first time this year. Please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, honored guests and esteemed colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank to Korea and Ministry of Food and Drug Safety to invite Thailand in the first time in the EFRAS meeting, and you are best organized in this meeting. And really thank you for Professor Corina. Thailand will strongly support about strategic collaboration. Right now, for me, I form Thai FDA. Thai FDA, I use strategic collaboration is a guideline to move this my organize. We know about we cannot success if I do by alone. We have a friend, we have a private sector, we have a lot of different countries. If we collaboration, I think it's 1 plus 1 is not 2, but 1 plus 1 can more than infinity. I think that's Thailand strongly support for strategic collaboration. And now for about food in Thai, my government is really support about have some policy about food safety. Right now, some policy is Ignite Thailand. One of Ignite Thailand is about food. Right now, we in progress about food in novel food and functional claim in food right now. And for in the progress, right now I have some protocol about cultivated meat. I tell him, I tell her about just Singapore right now. And I think it's not only connecting with each other in this region. It's crucial to partner with international organizations to provide access to a broader range of expertise, data, and support mechanisms that are necessary for tackle global challenges effectively. All the existing international cooperation in this area, such as food safety, environmental protection, and food security, has always proved to be successful. Through strategic collaboration, stakeholders could establish a shared vision, commitment, and a willingness to work together toward common goals. By combining their strength, this approach forms ownership, cohesion, and foster synergy across sectors, and border to coordinately promote the health and economy in a global scale. For the last, thank you for Korea for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Commissioner. Lastly, I'd like to ask a discussion speech from Vietnam's Food Commissioner, Ung Nguyen Tham Phong. It's good to see you last year and to have you here again this year. Please.
Xin chào quý vị đại biểu. Chúng ta đã nghe phần trình bày chủ đề chung của đại diện Codex và thảo luận từ các thành viên tham gia cái hội thảo abstract. Chúng ta đều nói nhiều đến vai trò và tầm quan trọng của vấn đề bảo đảm an toàn thực phẩm, liên quan đến vấn đề phát triển kinh tế xã hội, liên quan đến phát triển và bảo đảm về sức khỏe và tính mạng của người tiêu dùng. Và chúng ta ở đây về cơ bản đều là thành viên của Ủy ban tiêu chuẩn thực phẩm, là thành viên của Codex. đều là thành viên của của Tổ chức Thương mại Thế giới. Chúng ta biết là Codex thì có những cái tiêu chuẩn thực phẩm chung. Tuy nhiên là mỗi một quốc gia thì tùy theo điều kiện kinh tế xã hội, tùy theo cái yêu cầu ưu tiên cho xuất khẩu hay là nhập khẩu thực phẩm. Rồi bên cạnh đó lại còn có các cái ký kết song phương hay đa phương khác. Cho nên về cơ bản thì tuân theo Codex, nhưng mà cũng có thể là có những cái quy định khác Codex. Vậy thì đối với riêng chúng ta ở đây là các thành viên của châu Á Thái Bình Dương do Hàn Quốc sáng kiến tổ chức APRAT, thì chúng ta nên chăng cũng có những cái quy định chung trên cơ sở hướng dẫn của Codex để trong khối của chúng ta có các cái quy định thực hiện trong khối. Theo tôi là tôi đề xuất là như vậy. Cái thứ hai nữa, với cơ sở là đề xuất trên cơ sở chung của Codex thì khối của chúng ta nên ưu tiên ở những cái vấn đề gì để cùng cộng đồng giải quyết. Vì thực ra thì thế giới chúng ta đối với lĩnh vực thực phẩm chúng ta đang phải đối mặt với rất nhiều vấn đề. Vấn đề biến đổi khí hậu, vấn đề về thảm họa thiên tai, vấn đề về chiến tranh, vấn đề về dịch bệnh. Với những cái điều kiện khẩn cấp như vậy thì sẽ có rất nhiều vấn đề chúng ta phải đối phó. Vậy thì cái khối chung của chúng ta, khối APRAT này, chúng ta sẽ phối hợp với nhau để khi có bất kỳ một cái vấn đề gì về khẩn cấp thì chúng ta ưu tiên giải quyết vấn đề gì với nhau. Tôi nghĩ là chúng tôi xin gợi ý là như vậy. Cái thứ hai nữa là chúng ta cũng đang phải đối mặt với rất nhiều vấn đề về thực phẩm và sức khỏe. Vừa là có những vùng thiếu thốn về lương thực thực phẩm, nhưng lại có những vấn đề là vấn đề thừa cân béo phì, lại thừa thực phẩm hoặc là thiếu vi chất dinh dưỡng. Đấy cũng là vấn đề. Vậy thì chúng ta ưu tiên để giải quyết vấn đề gì ở trong riêng khối chúng ta? Tôi hiểu là chúng ta cũng không thể đưa ra cùng một lúc để giải quyết tất cả những vấn đề mà chúng ta đang phải đối mặt. Nhưng nên chăng chúng ta mỗi một năm chúng ta cần thống nhất để ưu tiên những vấn đề gì chúng ta cần giải quyết trước. Và trên cơ sở đó thì cứ hàng năm chúng ta sẽ thống nhất để giải quyết. Và khi đã thống nhất cam kết chung thì tất cả những vấn đề đó là trong khối của APRAT chúng ta thống nhất cùng quan điểm, cùng tiêu chí, cùng mục tiêu. Với tinh thần như vậy thì tôi một lần nữa rất là cảm ơn Bộ An toàn Thực phẩm và Dược phẩm Hàn Quốc đã có sáng kiến tổ chức những hội nghị như thế này. Và chúng tôi hy vọng là với cái tinh thần như thế thì cái mục tiêu chung của khối chúng ta sẽ ngày càng đáp ứng được hơn cái vấn đề bức xúc hoặc vấn đề cấp bách của vấn đề an toàn thực phẩm, góp phần bảo đảm chung cho cái an toàn thực phẩm và thương mại của khối chúng ta. Và trên cơ sở đó thì bảo đảm an toàn chung cho sức khỏe và kinh tế của toàn cầu. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Please give a big hand. We listened carefully to the head of institution's discussion. Everyone, please give a big applause again to the head of institutions for their hard work. Next, Kim Song-gon, Director of the Food Safety Policy Bureau of the MFDS, Republic of Korea, will give a presentation on the topic, Digital Transformation of Food Safety Management. We will welcome the Director to the stage. Please welcome him with loud applause. Can you take 15 minutes? We have a limited time schedule.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ha. Good afternoon, APRAS members. I will give my presentation in Korean for the smooth progress of meeting. Excuse me, please. (2024년) 아프라스의 테마는 식품안전 혁신을 위한 새로운 여정입니다. 식품안전 혁신을 위한 새로운 여정을 떠나는 데 있어서 디지털 정보 기술은 우리를 조금 더 안전하고 빠르게 안내해 줄 것이라고 생각합니다. 저는 식약처에서 추진하고 있는 SafeI24 스마트 헬스업 푸드 QR 프로젝트에 대해서 설명드리겠습니다. 우리나라의 식품 수입은 지난 5년간 매년 5%씩 증가하고 있습니다. 지금 연간 80만 건에 이르고 있고요. 그러나 수입식품 검사 인력을 계속 증원할 수는 없습니다. 그리고 여러 지역에서 전쟁과 분쟁으로 인해서 글로벌 공급망 불안을 겪고 있습니다. 한국은 먹거리에 대한 수입 의존도가 높기 때문에 식품과 원료의 안정적인 공급이 국내 물가 안정에도 중요한 요인이 되고 있습니다. 이러한 당면 문제를 해결하기 위해 디지털 전환을 통한 수입식품 안전관리 혁신을 시도하게 되었고 이것이 SafeI24입니다. 모든 수입식품은 수입신고가 되면은 서류 검사를 하고 필요시 현장 검사나 정밀 검사를 거치게 됩니다. SafeI24는 이 서류 검사를 디지털로 자동화한 것입니다. 수입신고서가 접수가 되면은 규정에 기반한 알고리즘과 20만 건의 기준규격 정보를 이용하여 전자심사를 진행하게 됩니다. 국내 수입이 가능한 식품인지 원재료나 첨가물이 국내 사용 기준에 적합한지 또는 표시가 적절하게 되었는지 등 270여 개 항목을 자동적으로 검토하게 됩니다. 만약 전자심사 결과 적합이 아니거나 검사관의 검토가 필요한 경우에는 검사관이 직접 처리하게 됩니다. SafeI24가 시행되기까지 많은 과정을 거쳐왔습니다. 2023년 6월, 작년 6월에는 수입식품법을 개정해서 법적 근거를 마련하였고, 그리고 시스템을 구축한 뒤에 1년 이상 시범 운영을 하면서 정확성과 성능을 개선하였습니다. 그리고 영업자를 대상으로 현장 설명회를 통해서 SafeI24로 인한 혜택을 홍보하였습니다. SafeI24의 시행으로 수입신고서 접수 및 결과 처리가 24시간 365일 가능하게 되었고 영업자는 경제적 비용을 절감하고 신속한 식품 공급을 할 수 있게 되었습니다. 슬라이드가 한 장 먼저 지나갔는데요. 네. 다음 한국에서 운영하고 있는 스마트 헬스업에 대해서 소개드리겠습니다. 스마트 헬스업은 IoT 기술을 접목하여 중요 관리점 CCP에 대한 모니터링을 자동화하고 그 기록을 디지털화하여 관리하는 시스템입니다. 제조 공정에서 한계 기준을 이탈한 경우에 알람을 통해 즉시 조치하고 또 이렇게 축적된 데이터를 활용해서 관리 기준과 방법을 개선하는 것입니다. 스마트 공장과 스마트 헬스업은 긴밀하게 연결되어 있습니다. 스마트 공장이란 모든 생산 과정에서 정보통신 기술을 활용해서 제품을 생산하는 최첨단 지능형 제조 공장을 말합니다. 식품 제조 공정을 자동화, 디지털화하는 스마트 공장에서 특히 식품 위해 요소를 제어할 수 있는 공정을 자동화, 디지털화하는 것을 스마트 헬스업이라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 25년 말 기준으로 345개소가 스마트 헬스업을 등록하여 운영하고 있습니다. 스마트 햇섭을 구축함으로 인한 효과를 말씀드리겠습니다. 스마트 햇섭을 적용한 식품업체를 대상으로 조사한 결과 모니터링 빈도가 170배 증가하였고 모니터링 시간이 61.9% 감소, 생산량이 67.7% 증가, 불량률이 47.7% 감소하는 등 큰 효과를 확인할 수 있었습니다. 과거 영업자나 담당자의 경험이나 주관적인 판단을 기준으로 식품안전관리를 해왔다면 이제 스마트 햇섭을 통해서 데이터에 기반해서 객관적이고 과학적으로 관리 방법을 개선할 수 있습니다. 지금 스마트 햇섭이 중요 관리점에 대한 자동 모니터링이라는 작은 일부분에 그치고 있지만 앞으로 AI 등을 활용해서 보다 넓은 범위에서 예측 가능한 관리 시스템으로 역할을 할 수 있을 것으로 기대하고 있습니다. 다음은 올해 처음 소개해드리는 푸드 QR 프로젝트입니다. 우리나라는 1996년 식품 표시 기준을 제정한 이래 지난 30여 년간 다양한 식품 관련 정보가 표시사항에 추가되어 왔습니다. 원재료, 알레르기 유발 정보, 열량 정보 등 개인의 안전과 건강 기호를 위한 정보들이 계속 추가되어 왔습니다. 그렇지만 식품 포장지의 공간은 한정되어 있고 모든 식품을 잘 보이게 표시하기에는 어려움이 있습니다. 이러한 문제를 해결하고자 식약처는 중요한 정보는 크고 잘 보이게, 다양한 정보는 QR 정보를 통해서 제공하는 식품 표시 체계 개편을 추진하고 있습니다. 예를 들어 제품명, 소비기한, 보관 방법 등 중요한 정보는 크고 잘 보이게 표시하고 제조업체 주소라든지 품목 제조 보고 번호 등 중요도가 낮은 정보는 QR코드를 통해 온라인으로 제공하게 됩니다. 소비자는 식품 포장지에 표시된 푸드 QR을 휴대폰 카메라로 스캔을 하게 되면 식품 정보를 확인할 수 있습니다. 크게 세 가지 정보인데요. 소비자의 안전한 식품 섭취를 위한 안전 정보, 개인의 건강한 식생활을 위한 건강 정보, 식품을 맛있게 조리하거나 식생활의 편의를 높일 수 있는 생활 정보입니다. 먼저 안전정보입니다. 제품명, 식품 유형, 제조업소명 등 기본 정보와 함께 제품이 회수 대상인지, 이력 추적 정보는 어떤지 다양한 정보를 제공할 수 있습니다. 인쇄를 통한 정보 제공 방식으로는 회수 대상 제품인지 여부를 실시간으로 제공할 수는 없습니다. 30초 정도의 동영상을 한번 보시겠습니다. 볼륨을 좀 올려주시죠. 네, 다시 한 번만 모시겠습니다.
When shopping in grocery stores, it's difficult for consumers to individually verify whether a product is subject to a recall. When a consumer scans the QR with a smartphone camera, they are directed to the accessed internet address and various information, including whether the product is subject to recall, is displayed on the smartphone.
두 번째 건강 정보입니다. 건강한 식생활을 위한 영양 성분 정보를 제공하고 소비자가 영양 성분을 터치를 하게 되면은 자세한 정보를 보실 수 있습니다. 또는 건강기능식품이나 의약품과 함께 섭취하면은 주의해야 될 사항들에 대한 정보도 확인할 수가 있습니다. 마지막으로 생활정보입니다. 삼성전자, LG전자와 같은 글로벌 가전회사와 협력해서 스마트 냉장고, 전자레인지 등에서 푸드 QR을 활용하는 기술을 개발하고 있습니다. 냉장고 카메라에 푸드 QR을 스캔을 하게 되면은 제품명과 소비기한이 자동으로 입력되고 냉장고 안에서 식품이 관리가 됩니다. 전자레인지에서는 조리식품의 최적 온도, 시간이 자동으로 설정이 되게 됩니다. 이를 설명하는 동영상을 한번 보시겠습니다.
When the consumer shows the food QR on the food packaging to the camera on the front of the refrigerator, the product name and best before date information contained in the QR are automatically entered. After that, the refrigerator manages the consumption deadline of the stored food with its built-in camera and AI software. Food QR can also be used with microwaves. When cooking pre-packaged meals, scanning the food QR reads and sets the optimal cooking time automatically. The user simply needs to press the start button to enjoy a conveniently prepared meal.
푸드 QR 서비스가 시작이 되면은 소비자는 식품에 대한 정보와 접근성이 높아질 것으로 생각이 됩니다. 올해 말까지 푸드 QR 시스템을 구축할 예정이며 앞으로 수입 식품 등으로도 확대할 예정입니다. 식약처는 푸드 QR 서비스 구축 경험을 아프라스 회원국들과 적극적으로 공유하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
I'd like to give him big applause to Director Kim Sung-kwon for his hard work. Please take a seat. Yes. The final presentation was prepared by Kang Min-cheol, head of the Global Legal Center at Fulmu-won, a Korean food company, on the topic of smart heads-up.
네, 풀무원의 그 식품 안전 관리의 현재와 미래에 대해서 발표드리도록 하겠습니다. 우선 오늘 풀무원에 대해서 간략히 설명을 드리고 스마트해서 그다음에 물류 자동화 이러한 그 자동화된 디지털화된 정보를 앞으로 우리가 어떻게 관리할 것인가 이거에 대해서 제언드리고자 합니다. 풀무원은 한국과 미국, 일본, 중국의 생산 체계를 갖추고 있고요. 전 세계 25개국에 수출을 하고 있습니다. 네, 풀무원의 미션은 바른 먹거리로 사람과 지구의 건강한 내일을 만드는 기업입니다. 그렇게 하기 위해서 저희는 4가지 큰 핵심 가치 체계를 가지고 있는데요. 식물지향, 건강한 경험, 동물복지, 에코 케어링입니다. 이러한 핵심 가치를 바탕으로 지속 가능성 경영을 위해서 꾸준히 노력하고 있고요. 이러한 노력을 바탕으로 ESG, 환경, 사회, 거버넌스 모든 부분에서 A+ 등급의 인증을 받았고 이렇게 기업을 선도해서 운영을 하고 있습니다. 네, 풀무원의 식품 안전 관리 현재에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 풀무원의 식품 안전 관리의 기반은 식약처에서 운영하고 있는 해썹이고요. 이 해썹에 더불어서 해외 수출국에서 요구하는 사항과 또 리테일러가 요구하는 사항을 좀 더 더해서 식품 안전 관리 체계를 운영하고 있습니다. 앞서서 저희 김성우 국장님께서 발표하신 스마트 해썹에 대해서 좀 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 과거에는 해썹을 아날로그로 품질 관리인이 관리를 하고 있었는데 이 부분이 굉장히 많은 그 전문성과 또 인적 어떤 노력이 많이 필요한 부분이 있었습니다. 그래서 식품은 365일 지속적으로 생산이 되고 있는데 이거에 대해서 사람이 모든 걸 관리하는 한계점이 있기 때문에 식약처에서 스마트 해썹을 도입한다고 선언을 했을 때 선도적으로 신청을 하고 자사의 주요 생산품들에 대해서 스마트 해썹을 도입하고 있습니다. 여기에 가장 이 스마트 해썹의 핵심이라고 할 수 있는 것은 MES라는 시스템인데요. 이 MES 시스템은 이 생산 체계 전반에 대해서 실시간 모니터링을 하고 이거에 대해서 바로바로 알림을 주는 이런 시스템입니다. 자사에는 주요 생산처인 그 뭐 두부나 면 이런 제품들에 적용이 되어 있고요. 주요 생산 공정마다 다 네트워크가 설정이 되어 있습니다. 그래서 여기에서 나오는 정보들이 라우터를 통해서 외부망과 연결이 되고 그 연결된 정보들이 사무실의 대시보드에 모든 정보들이 나오게 됩니다. 그리고 이상 상황이 발생이 되면 각 담당자에게 알람을 주어서 바로바로 대응을 할 수 있도록 관리 체계를 만들어 두었습니다. 이 외에도 저희는 그 생산 외에도 그 용수와 폐수, 그러니까 에코 케어링을 하기 위해서 용수 관리에도 좀 디지털을 도입을 했습니다. 그래서 수질 관리라든가 수량 관리, 그다음에 폐수의 수질 관리 이런 부분들에 대해서 다 모니터링을 하고 있고 이런 것들이 다 데이터베이스화 되고 있습니다. 또한 풀먼은 넷제로 클라우드라는 것을 만들어서 여기에 에너지, 워터, 웨이스트 이런 정보들이 모두 담겨 있습니다. 그래서 2050년도에 넷제로를 달성하기 위해서 노력을 하고 있고요. 그다음에 이러한 정보들을 통해서 ESG와 연결을 해서 지속적으로 데이터를 업데이트를 하고 있습니다. 그리고 가장 짧게는 지금 재활용 포장지를 이용을 하고 생산 최적화, 물류 최적화를 통해서 2035년에 온실가스를 20% 이하로 절감하는 노력을 하고 있습니다. 또한 물류 자동화를 운영을 하고 있습니다. 식품 기업에서 가장 중요한 건 콜드체인인데요. 이 콜드체인에 대해서 중앙 관제센터의 모든 정보를 지금 수집하고 운영하고 있습니다. 그래서 생산부터 최종 리테일 스토어 갈 때까지 웨어하우스나 차량의 온도와 에너지 정보들을 다 취합하고 관리하고 운영하고 있습니다. 네, 뭐 사례를 좀 설명을 드리면 이거는 풀먼의 냉장 차량인데요. 냉장고 안에 앞과 뒤에 온도 센서가 부착이 되어 있고 이 온도 센서에서 나오는 정보가 로고에 저장이 되고 이러한 정보들이 퍼지망을 통해서 그 관제센터에 모두 모이게 됩니다. 그러면 이 관제센터에서는 그런 냉장 온도와 더불어서 이 차량이 어느 곳으로 어떻게 움직이는지 정보가 모두 다 들어오게 됩니다. 그래서 중간에 차량이 고장나거나 이상한 곳으로 가거나 아니면 급하게 차량이 고장나서 대차를 해야 된다거나 이런 긴급 상황에 즉시 대항할 수 있도록 관리되고 있고요. 오른쪽 아래에 보시는 바와 같이 어떤 이상 사례가 발생하면 담당자들에게 SNS를 통해서 즉각적으로 정보가 제공이 되고 즉각 대응하지 않을 경우에는 또 다른 프로세스에 의해서 조치가 취해지게 됩니다. 네, 또한 저희 물류센터는 그 1등급 인증 스마트 물류센터로 인증을 받았습니다. 그래서 이 물류센터의 거의 대부분의 소터라든지 이런 그 설비들에 대해서 자동화가 되어 있습니다. 그리고 이러한 정보들이 취합이 되고 이 정보들을 바탕으로 어떻게 더 생산을 최적화할 것이며 어떻게 더 에너지를 절감할 것인지 지속적으로 연구하고 노력하고 있습니다. 네, 주로 이 로지스틱의 핵심적인 로지스틱 자동화의 핵심적인 사항들입니다. 저희 여기 다양한 것들이 있지만 소터 같은 경우에는 항공 공항에 수화물 관리 시스템과 동일한 시스템을 갖추고 있습니다. 그래서 다양한 곳으로 제품이 나가는데 이 소터를 수화물과 같이 다 운영을 해서 각 지역으로 자동으로 다 분배가 되고 실제 리테일러까지 배송이 되게 되어 있습니다. 네. 그러면 현재까지 풀먼에서는 이런 식으로 식품 안전과 ESG 지속 가능 경영을 위해서 이러한 노력을 하고 있고요. 앞으로 그러면은 식품 안전 관리를 위해서 어떻게 운영이 되어야 할 것인가에 대해서 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 2000년대 중반부터 유럽을 비롯해서 한국도 마찬가지로 팜투포 농장에서 식탁까지 안전한 식품을 관리하기 위해서 수많은 노력들을 기울이고 있습니다. 그렇지만 부정한 공급자, 부정불량 식품을 생산하는 사람들, 일부의 이런 범죄자들에 의해서 완벽한 식품 안전 관리가 되고 있지 않습니다. 그래서 지금도 수많은 노력을 해서 수많은 비용을 들여서 관리를 하고 있는데 지금 우리에게 현실화되어 있는 블록체인 기술을 활용을 해서 지금 스마트 해썹, 스마트 물류 체계, 스마트 이력 추적 이러한 지금 수많은 디지털 정보들을 가지고 이것들을 블록체인화하고 이 블록체인을 기반으로 식품 안전 관리가 필요하겠다 이렇게 좀 제언드리고 싶습니다. 그래서 간략하게 도식을 좀 한번 보시면 서플라이어에서 생산된 기록이 블록체인화되고 이 정보들이 다시 생산자에게 넘어가고 그 최종 제품에 결국에는 QR코드 하나의 정보에 모든 정보가 담기게 되고 소비자들은 이 QR코드 하나로 이 제품의 오리진과 모든 정보들을 확인할 수 있는 이런 시스템을 만들어 가야지 완벽한 식품 안전 체계가 갖춰질 수 있겠다 이렇게 좀 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 그래서 이러한 스마트 에코시스템을 어떻게 확장시키고 어떤 가치를 부여할 것이냐 해서 여러 가지 고민을 했고요. 이런 식으로 좀 한번 앞으로 미래에 우리가 갖춰야 될 시스템이 어떤 것인가 한번 좀 도식화해 보았습니다. 그래서 지금 정부의 식약처, 그다음에 식품안전관리인증원, 그다음에 식품안전정보원 이런 데서 수많은 데이터가 나오고 있습니다. 이것들을 디지털 앞에서 국장님께서 말씀하셨지만 디지털화하고 디지털화된 정보를 기업과 소비자들에게 전달을 해주고 있습니다. 근데 워낙 다양한 정보들이 만들어지고 제공되다 보니까 이런 정보들을 통합해서 관리할 수 있는 방안이 없겠느냐라는 고민이 지속적으로 있었고요. 이게 지금 좀 화면이 좀 깨졌는데 정부에서 나오는 그런 다양한 정보들과 또 기업에서 나오는 정보들이 있습니다. 원산지라든지 영양 정보라든지 기타 등등의 정보들이 수없이 많이 나오고 있는데 아까 보신 바와 같이 QR코드로 정보를 제공하는 그런 시스템을 식약처에서 지금 도입하고 운영하고 있는데 이러한 정보들 수많은 정보들을 다 하나의 푸드 세이프티 디지털 플랫폼이라 가칭으로 한번 만들어 봤는데 이런 시스템에 이러한 정보들을 모으고 이러한 정보들을 바탕으로 이라벨 시스템이라든지 리얼타임 인포메이션이라든지 스마트 이력 추적 이런 부분들을 다 활용을 할 수 있지 않겠느냐. 너무 많은 데이터들이 있는데 이 데이터들을 어떻게 운영하고 효과적으로 활용할 것이냐. 이런 고민이 앞으로도 꾸준히 있어야 되고 지속 가능한 식품 산업을 위해서라도 반드시 이러한 시스템이 필요하겠다 이렇게 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 또 이러한 플랫폼을 바탕으로 식품 밸류 체인에 있는 다양한 산업군 사람들이 이러한 정보를 서로 교류를 하면서 여기에서 나오는 정보를 활용해서 제품화하고 소비자에게 공급할 수도 있고요. 또한 소비자들에게 영유아부터 노인까지 맞춤형 정보를 제공함으로써 소비자들이 좀 더 건강하고 안전한 식품을 선택할 수 있도록 도움을 줄 수도 있고요. 아까 식약처에서도 발표하셨지만 홈 어플리케이션 컴퍼니라든지 아니면 가전이라든지 각종 식품과 관련된 밸류체인에 정보를 제공함으로써 이것들이 좀 더 가치 있는 데이터로 활용이 될 수 있지 않겠느냐. 그 외에도 또 다른 스타트업이라든지 공유경제라든지 여러 식품과 관계된 산업 분야에서 충분히 활용할 수 있지 않겠느냐. 그리고 이것들을 국내에서 먼저 이러한 시스템을 만들고 이러한 시스템이 아프라스 더 나아가서는 WHO에까지 확대돼서 글로벌이 하나의 밸류체인으로 묶이는 게 향후의 식품 안전의 가장 중요한 미래가 되겠다 이렇게 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, Mr. Kang. Time is flying. We would like to conclude today's conference with 3 keynote speeches. Today, when there are no barriers to food safety, incidents and global supply chains are connected, close solidarity and cooperation between countries is important to respond to the global food safety crisis. Sharing of regulatory information between countries, digital transformation of food safety management, and harmonization of regulations in food sector are areas that require much discussion in the future. I am confident that if AFRAS continues to develop, it will be mutually beneficial to all member countries. Through AFRAS, Asia-Pacific food regulatory agencies will be able to collaborate and create synergies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Why don't we give Professor Ha for another round of applause for his great effort. Thank you very much. We'll mark the end of the conference. On behalf of the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, would like to extend a sincere gratitude to the moderator, Professor Ha Sang-do, and the speakers and panelists for their valuable contribution based on their expertise. As we hope that today's conference has been a valuable time for all attendees, I deeply appreciate everyone who has joined us for this approximately 2 hours of session, both online and offline. Before we wrap up, we wish everyone a safe journey back home, and we sincerely hope that we could meet all of you again next year at APRAS 2025. And before wrapping up, why don't we give another round of applause to each other for the cooperation and hard work. Thank you very much. With that will conclude the Asia Pacific Food Regulatory Authorities Summit 2024. Thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you.